You prevailed in the liberation right against the withdrawn. Already does the Black Wagon feel quieter than usual without Faye, who returned to the Commonwealth. You overhear some of your companions reflecting on this. She hath passed from this place, along with all her eccentricities. Grieve not for her. Would that we all some day achieve the same. You wonder who, if anyone, among you shall be the next to go. Our plan approaches a key turning point. Let us ensure it soon comes to fruition, not only for ourselves here, but for our companions and our loved ones in the Commonwealth. But we have little time now for reflection into this. Look yonder, reader. The stars demand we go already. Let us help them usher in the end of all of this. You turn your attention to the glimmer of the stars. Oh. Their current rate of disappearance suggests another liberation rite shall be coming very soon. The few remaining stars still shine for you. Find your way among them. We've got Haub, Gol, and Kaelma. I don't know if we decided. Kaelma has the dissidents. Haub has the accusers. Gol has the faith. Let's go fight the dissidents, I think. We'll end up fighting the accusers in the liberation rite. Probably. Unless Chastity overtake them, which will be annoying. I don't like Chastity. Now the stars bid you to return to the Isle of Kaelma, where you shall stand against the dissidents once again. Your adversary Barker Ashpros likely knows the cycle of rites is drawing to a close. His last remaining chance to earn the favour of the scribes and then regain his freedom likely hinges on the outcome of this next rite. The cycle of rites is soon to end. The exiles of the downside striving to be free, your adversaries, your companions, even yourself, are running out of time. It's Jody. On history, this book cannot accompany you if you should earn your freedom. It is to remain here for your successors, for it is bound together inextricably with us. There is no sorcery, however, to prohibit you from spreading forth its teachings. We charge you to go forth and share what you have learned along your path. Reveal not the rites themselves nor the existence of this book. Transcend its bounded limitations, for it cannot be transcribed. Any such attempts shall fail. Beware of those who would dare to read it on the other side. Under the guise of seeking wisdom may yet lurk a much darker desire to undo that which we strive to do. Sometime after the liberation rite, you find Jadariel staring at the wagon's walls. Little brother, she would call it, reader. This wagon was one of that girl's only friends in this world, and now they are apart. She will be mournful by tomorrow, I should think. She lets out a sigh. That girl had nothing in the Commonwealth. Life in the downside is scarce worth living on most days, except for one such as she. I fear it may have served her better to remain within our care. Within my care. She trails off for a while. The orphans of the fallen veterans with whom I served on the blood border. She reminded me a lot of them, in certain ways. They each were very strong in their own right, often wiser than suggested by their youth. Thus, I do not know the source of my concern. I trust Faye shall continue to survive. My hope, however, is that she achieves something more, that she should find her place in that society this time. Perhaps she shall be instrumental to this plan of ours yet, what with her constant prattling about the scribes, who can say, the people there may listen. Either way, we managed to see her return. May those of us united in our cause continue to support each other here, as well as on the other side. Jadariel nods at you in salute. Thank you, reader. Rest well this night, and I shall see you in the morning's light. She retires for the evening. You sense that she's feeling better about Faye's prospects, having talked through her thoughts with you. Aww. Can we talk to Sandra? What brings you to me this time, my dear reader? We can't. Go forth and show your adversaries what you've learned. We've done every single Sandra challenge, I think. Continue your journey to Kaelma. At dawn, your companions are prepared to depart. Everyone is silent. Your travels are to take you back to the Isle of Kaelma, but soon after the stars shall draw you here again. Is it just one match between liberation rites now? Again, we return to the Isle of Kelma, hidden in this storm. I've met very few who know of it at all, much less have walked upon its stones and sands. The disconcerting tales of the demise of Kelma Ropecaller, who met his end there on that isle, the imps that swarm and breed across this place today seem not to mind. Having paid witness to the rites firsthand, they have become rather obsessed with it. I sometimes wonder if it's more difficult to conduct rites with such a boisterous audience. May the dissidents find their way shortly, so the imps may have the contest they desire. So we've got Sharp Shoal or Barbed Reef. Vocations there. And vocations there. But Jody vocations, I'm going to take over Gilman vocations. Okay, let's survey Sharp Shoal. After having reached the steady currents of Sharp Shoal, you volunteer to survey the grounds. You prepare to head out. However, your companions beat you to it in this case. At ease, reader. We shall conduct the survey this time. They depart, leaving you to rest up. When they later return with nothing much to report, you are feeling better and are in the midst of deciding which of your vocations to pursue. We're going to mentor a companion. She's 1270 away. Mentoring her and then using her in the right. Would get her to max. Gilman is 2150 away. So we'd need to use a thing. Volfred is... It's not showing how far away from rank 4 he is. So we're going to mentor Bertrude. Very well then, educate us if thou canst. You and Bertrude go over her understanding of her aura and its connection to her presence, both physical and spiritual. The discussion proves informative. Hang on, I need to move my microphone again because I put it in the wrong place. Such power emanates from within, which can be harnessed towards our goals. Hell yeah. Continue your journey. Isle of Kelma. Volfred put the raiments back on last time. Hey guys, say, whatever happened to that Fae you brought in here sometimes? You know, the loopy one, frizzy hair, always handling all the merchandise? I liked her. We can sell Kelma's amulet. Or Kelma's anklet, sorry. We're gonna grab that. I don't know what we're gonna use it on yet. Maybe Volfred's thing, actually. Oh shit. I didn't realise there were permanent ones as well, that's cool. We're running out of people to use these rings on, so I'm gonna sell them again. Yeah, I'll grab a permanent quickness. And we'll grab a presence buff as well. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Presence buff. Proceed. You guys have a good day out there. Page revealed, downside talismans. Survival often is conflated with the physical. When we think of survival, we assume the need to sustain our bodies or improve our bodies. The strong survive, but and take it from an alpha chief, there are different kinds of strength. The spirit is what drives us, but by comparison the body's impulses are weak. Here in the downside, faith is found in limited supply. Trinkets and mere baubles that would barely fetch a price in our homeland here are talismans. Seek talismans that mean something to you. Hold on to one that you hold dear. It shall reward you with reminders of your faith, your power, your potential. Hey, Moo. So, I'll put that there for now. We're gonna buff Bertrude's quickness by 1. We're going to buff Volfred's presence by 4 for the next right. I think Jodie's going to sit out of this one. Possibly. You stand before the bizarre outcroppings of the Isle of Kaelma. The sky darkens, and in the distance you hear the sound of gibbering creatures growing louder. The sound of it is unnerving enough that your fellow exiles remain quiet, their eyes are fixed to the stars above. Soon something in the sky above begins to stir. The pyres on each side are burning bright. From across the field you observe the leader of the dissidents approach and remove his mask. Well now, it's time we went another round then, is it, mates? I don't know how many more of these we got in us these days. So how about we make this one a real kicker, eh? Come on then, Nightwings, do your worst. I want to see you try and do some proper damage here. Definitely gonna go for Volfred. God, he spits that name out still. We'll go for Sir Gilman as well. He can hold the Ashen Coal, I think. Yeah. If this shall be the final right against the dissidents, then let us conduct it with all due glory and more. Alright then, mates. You ready? You ready? Let's make those blasted stars up there go wet themselves after we're through here, eh? Boom. Oh, shit. Oh god, Volfred is so hard to control when he gets closer. Oh god, he's just actively cheering against us now. Okay. Oh, we dropped it. Where are you gonna go? I can block you. It's frickin' imps. Oh, I didn't jump in time. Oh, he jumped over. Game audio is very low. Okay. I can try and sort that in a bit. Ow. I forget I can... Oh, come on, I was right there. Oh, that was the wrong button. Nice. Ow. Ow. There we go. Oh, okay, I see what happened. Give me one sec. Think it's this one? There we go, you should be able to hear the game now. Streamlabs fucked with a bunch of my settings and it just reset everything to default, which screws with my sound. Ye dissidents, you conducted here with such fury and desperation that we must commend you for it, despite the outcome which hath favoured us. Well done, Nightwings. As for the dissidents, though they fought us fiercely many times, I doubt that it shall be enough. May they find mercy in this land. This night declares the taste of victory is sweet indeed. We prevailed against a worthy foe. Can feel my blood still boiling after that. Would have rather snuffed out that flame of yours, but hey, seeing you around these parts, come on mates, let's get out of here.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust. To protrude all the ways of the ex-scribes.
Long have we sought to fathom all the darkest secrets hidden by the light of the stars. Now at last the stars themselves revoke their station in the night, and we have finally achieved an inkling of this. Do we want faster slither? I think we probably want faster slither. Or do we want the come back one? No, we'll go faster slither for now.
To molten Melith until the next rite, if there even is to be another one.
Well, I'm sorry you missed on most of the Dissidents' cool music. Inside the wagon after beating the Dissidents, Volfred is discussing aspects of the outcome with the others when the lone minstrel seeks you out. Pardon the interruption, reader, though I need to ask a moment of your time while the night is clear enough for you to see. Please, come have a look outside. Perhaps the news of your next destination may further stir the hearts of your companions. Among what stars yet remain shining as the night, one of them now burns as bright as you have ever seen. We're going immediately back to the fall of Solium, I think. Yeah. Oh. And we're against the accusers. cycle turns out even more quickly now, until such a time as it shall shudder to a halt. He makes a sound then, almost like a laugh. I forget myself, reader, I should not say such things. The scribes, they would say that one ought to focus on the path in front of her. When we set forth to walk a long and laboured path, it can be all too much if we stand back and look upon it as a whole. We may well decide to turn around. But if we begin to walk whilst casting down our gaze and whilst resisting the urge to look too far ahead, we may make steady, careful progress. Soon enough we may arrive where we endeavoured. The lone minstrel bids you a good evening. You had best retire for the night, for when first daylight comes it shall be time again to take to the skies. No one to chat to there. Let's check if Sandra has anything to say. You call upon me for some purpose, my reader? No. Okay. Take care of yourself, then. There's still all this business with Oralek as well that's going on that I want to know more about. Oh, speak of the devil. Your wagon reels from the impact of some sort of massive object slamming into it mid-flight. False nightwings. Oralek calls down to you all up from atop his wagon. Again, you seek to climb that cursed mountain beneath us. Again, you seek to take my rightful place. I should send you crashing down to it that you might fall as I have. He stares down at all of you. But I shall not. Rather, we shall meet upon the summit ere the last cycle of rites is ended. Until then. I figured he'd probably be like the final boss or something. So we've got Temple High Road. Sir Gilman gets favour. Jadariel gets favour. Let's go for the Temple High Road. You make landing on the sacred Mount Elodial after your encounter with Oralek. Oralek spoke the truth. He has a right to the summit. When the time comes, Celeste shall deem him worthy and shall let him pass. While he has transgressed against the rites, he has already been anointed and prevailed. Nothing is written on the book on this, and liberty ought already be his. For the time, it seems that he has not yet travelled to the summit. Perhaps he is still making preparations with his fellow exiles. When exactly Oralek intends to make good on his promise, he did not make clear, but for now you are to confront Lendl and the accusers upon the summit. But first, you may prepare. Okay, nothing to do in there. Seek the Sap Scribe's favour. Later that afternoon, you accompany Sir Gilman through the great heights of Temple High Road to the monument of Luce Glorian. Honour is a complicated thing, O scribes. That much at least this knight has learned from you. This knight shall honour his commitment to the Nightwings above all. He slithers towards the culmination of the rites with eye wide open. You return to the wagon after he's finished paying his respects. The summit awaits, but first there is time to continue practicing your vocations. Sir Gilman gains +2 presents. We're going to mentor... how far are you? 1400. If we mentor him, he'll max out. If we mentor Volfred, he'll gain another level. This knight shall be your eager protégé. You ask Sir Gilman to explain to you in his own words the histories of the 8 scribes and speak to how their varied backgrounds formed the basis not just of the rites but of the Commonwealth. This knight loves the Under King Oris best of all, of course. Yes, you do, buddy. Continue your journey. To Scribe's Gate. A messenger imp, with news and rumours from the other side, somehow tracks you down in the sheer cliffs of Mount Elodial. The imp's message pertains to Faye, who you liberated at the fall of Solium and whose past transgressions have all been forgiven since her return to the Commonwealth. You learn that she was taken in by a well-to-do foster family and was to be given private schooling of the highest order in the Astralist tradition. They promised her that in time she might one day have the honour of teaching the children of the Commonwealth herself. However, she soon went her own way, insisting that the 8 scribes themselves were calling her. She started wandering all on her own. That is, until she located Volfred's agents. Thus her wandering ceased, and the ranks of the revolution grew stronger. They also left a simple message. Believe in the scribes. You thank the messenger in for the report as your companions gather to discuss. Perhaps those scribes of hers yet live, for hers is a charmed life. That one, very powerful indeed, a sorceress of sorts, a certain air about her, most intriguing. Small in stature was the goodly Fay, yet great indeed in spirit. Even now this knight remains in awe of her. She has the manner of a saint, that one. She knows in her heart the tradition of the scribes. The news of Fay's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Everyone gets +1 hope. Admiral Memo, thank you so much for that raid. How are you doing? What were you streaming? We are right near the end of this game. You are returned once more to Scribe's Gate, where the Gate Guardian awaits under a dim sky. The exiles of the Nightwings, and you, Tariq, this is to be one of our final meetings. Greetings, Celeste. The Nightwings are prepared, and afterwards I would have words with you in private, if you please. It seems to me rather late for words now, Tariq, but I shall hear them once your charges cross the gate. Now, all of you come forth. Please state your names and what it is you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Once more your companions cross the gate, one after another, and once more you follow them in turn. Celeste regards you all, then waves you through toward the summit. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. And, Tariq? Aye, Celeste. You may rejoin the others in a while. For now, I would hear those words of yours. Certainly, Celeste. Everyone, I shall see you shortly. Ooh. Spicy. Commence the liberation rite. Let's check the Black Wagon. You bring me brief reprieve from solitude. What seek you in exchange? Oh, we can't even talk to her. I want to talk to her more. Oh, hey guys, it's gotten real cold again up here, but it's going to be worth it, let me tell you. Got a lot of customers been stopping by. Okay, I may have been exaggerating just a little since I've been waiting here a little while, I guess, but are you buying anything? No, probably not, actually. We don't have enough, really. We can sell that, it doesn't do much. We don't really use these, but we'll keep them anyway. Extra presents in the next rite though we'll grab. We'll grab the one-time things for now. And see us again, guys! The time has come again to deliver one of your fellow exiles to a homecoming in the Commonwealth, lest your adversaries the accusers achieve the same instead. The lone minstrel has returned and approaches you as you await the signal from the stars. There is something that I wish to ask you, reader, something which ordinarily would not be my place to discuss in any detail. You have observed the stars. If you would not mind my asking you in such a direct manner, how many liberation rites are you supposing yet remain? I think 2 remain, including this one now. You tell him the only logical deduction which you have been able to make based on all your readings of the stars of late, that there should be one final liberation rite after tonight. I concur with your evaluation, reader, madam. I wish to make certain that you are aware, so that you and the Nightwings may yet make the most of your remaining time together with us. As to what shall happen once the final liberation rite is ended, we shall soon both find out, but, well, it seems that we are called upon once more. Look forth.
I would ask that you think back for just a moment, if you please. When you first looked upon the Book of Rites, think back upon the words that it revealed. Oblige the voice that tells you more. Oblige the voice that tells you more. Would that the scribes were here among us still. I would not sing your praises to them, rest assured. I trust that you shall savor this occasion.
This voice just hates me.
You shan't have to oblige me for much longer.
The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the accusers, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Poised as ever, Lendl steps forward and reaches for his mask. I was branded Lendl the Liar. Once I reclaim my liberty, that name shall be forgotten, and my rightful station in the Commonwealth shall be restored. Nightwings, you may have prevailed against me when last we met here upon this sacred site, but the many years since then have taught me much. I shall not fail again. Yet you still hold much resentment for your adversaries, is that not so, Lendl? Resentment is too kind a word for it. They are cheaters one and all, unfairly favoured by those scribes, while those such as myself must struggle endlessly for a chance. Now, come, my accusers, let us vanquish those undeserving oaths, and prove now to the scribes they were fools to favour the likes of them. He dons his mask once more. I am ready. They have an Ashen Coal. They have a... Okay, they have an impossible Ashen Coal. Nightwings, your choice. In whose name shall you conduct this liberation rite? I wish you the wisdom of the scribes in making your choice, reader. I wish you to come prepare our song with me, Tariq. Whomst?
Whom shall you attempt to send home this time?
Volfred's the only one we can't send home. I think, though... I kind of don't want to send Gilman because he's so close to max. If I could, I would send home Volfred here, because I'm worst with him. But we're gonna have to send home either one of our best scorers or the person I'm most interested in story-wise. Which is difficult. Because I kind of ship her and Ignarius, not gonna lie. We'll manage, let's send home Gilman. Will we manage? We probably won't manage without Bertrude, she's out of the question. Yeah, let's send Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
Has this knight at last regained his honour? Let us now find out!
Who shall strive for him?
We're gonna grab Jody in this one.
Jodariel.
Then let us prevail against the accusers and be done. And Bertrude, which means our last match is going to have to be with Bertrude, Volfred, and Jodariel.
Bertrude.
For that one and for the reading one, we shall do this. And we'll probably send Volfred at that point. Come then, Nightwings, and look upon me one last time, for by dawn I shall be free while you all wallow in the terrible defeat we have in store for you.
Commence.
Oh, beautiful. We're both all banished. We're gonna take damage here, but we've got 165. We're fine for now. The accusers are a pretty slow team. Now, accusers, grant me your auras and your anger that we may finally secure our rightful victory against these demons whom we face. This must be the aura gain. Oh shit. Oh, he's shielded. Oh fuck, okay. There's something weird about that touching his aura, and I don't know if I like it. It looked like it changed to yellow when I shot his aura, which kind of scares me. we got God. Oh, we got Gar. No. They're gonna score. Or we can just do that. Bertrude is so good.
The blasted Nightwings proved their worth. Their
Bertrude is so good.
adversaries they defeated utterly. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Blast you, Nightwings. Again, you cheated me. Have you no pride at all in this tradition? Excuse me, buddy. We didn't cheat. We didn't develop secret techniques. Sir Gilman stares at nothing in particular. You see he's still taking in what transpired and what it means for him. So then, this night, he is to be free? He is to be free? Nay, but that would mean his honour is restored. One cannot go back unto our Commonwealth by any other means. This night's exile was self-wrought, his disgrace profound, that he has been atoned under the eye of the Under-King and those of all his noble comrades. He begins to grow very emotional, and then, this knight loves you all. He loves you all, that you would strive for him and let you join your noble crest. This knight does not feel as though he is deserving of this outcome, yet the result appears inarguable. Even now this knight is drawn into the shimmer pool, our time grows brief. Therefore, know this, beloved friends, this knight shall ever strive on your behalf, there in the Commonwealth. Though his honour may have been restored, his true journey only now begins. And so, good friends of the Nightwings, this knight must now bid you farewell. However, the bonds we formed together shan't be broken by mere distance, nay. Strive on, good friends, strive on. You can still hear Sir Gilman as he vanishes into the shimmering pool. If this lowly knight could have achieved such glory, surely can you all. For now, farewell, farewell. Sir Gilman earned back his freedom.
Godspeed, Sir
May he
Gilman.
return in glory.
The cycle of the rites is nearly at an end.
We have one more left. We got literally nothing out of that fight other than liberating Gilman. He returned to the wagon after having prevailed against the accusers in Liberation Rite. An important victory. Would that we make good of all such incidents. You succeeded in liberating Sir Gilman, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. The last light of the stars still shines for us above. At this point, what is to become of our plan needn't be the subject of our speculation. I trust that we'll learn the outcome soon enough. Our actions to this point shall pave the way, perhaps our fate as well, so let's for now focus on this. We stand upon the brink of the last return of the cycle of the rites. Soon we'll have a final chance to get one of you home. Now, reader, up for a little stargazing. Let's see where on the downside we shall be returning for these final rites. You turn back toward the darkness to look upon the last few stars too stubborn to relinquish their light. Scribe stars yet burn for you atop the sacred mountain, determine where they lead. We've got Haub, Gol, and Jumur. I want to fight the Tempers if we can. Chastity is there. Fate is there. Pyre Hearts are there. We're gonna go... we're gonna fight Chastity to to hopefully knock them down below the dissidents, just in case we end up fighting the dissidents. The accusers no longer have any real chance of freedom before the rites are ended. Oh fuck. Liberation rites remaining, 1. Rites till next liberation, 1. Yeah, we're gonna fight Chastity. I think if we can, we're still gonna send Volfred back. Once more you are to face Chastity then, although, I wonder... He hesitates before saying anything further. He cannot sense his thoughts. I apologise, I was lost in thought there for a moment. Let us make way for the spring of Jamur when everyone is feeling more refreshed as much as possible. On Legacy. Reader, though you shall always bear a burden, it is much lighter than the burden of a lonesome exile. Go forth and become free, then join with others such as you and lead with mercy, continuing to demonstrate your worth, and knowing that the Empire's fall formed the foundation of our Commonwealth. You shall cease to be a reader and become a voice both to the free and to your successors here, who shall take up this book when you no longer need it. The cycle of the rites shall see to it that you and others like you shall be liberated ere the coming of another age. May the stars shine ever brightly on us all. Felt like when a football player becomes a manager after they retire. Following the successful outcome of the liberation rite, you find Bertrude muttering something to herself. You hear some of the words as you approach. Shouldst thou seekest darkness, then my knife will come to thee in time. Shouldst thou seekest courage, then my bravery shall soon bloom within thy heart. Shouldst thou seekest water, then may the oceans open wide for thee. Should thou seekest fortune, then... You recognise it as the Bog Benediction, though you've never heard it said aloud. Then Bertrude sees you there, and cuts short the chant. Care thee to explain thy presence, reading 1. We were amidst an invocation which must now begin anew. 'Tis for the Worm Knight, if thou needest know, to speed him on his homeward journey. The Worm Knights are a distant kin, unlike their ilk, ours have but passing interest in the sea. There within the depths we have long seen that which is to be seen. Nevertheless, the distant kin is kin. That foolish Worm Knight. Surely he could have never survived his years if not for divine aid, thus we provide him more. Then, perhaps the Worm Knight, easily underestimated as he is, perhaps he shall turn out to be of some small benefit as part of Sandalwood's designs. She glares at you intently for a moment. Mistake thee not these actions for affection, nor for a longing for the loudness of this place to escalate ever again to volumes such as only his incessant shouting could achieve. Now, leave us, reading 1. The invocation must be finished ere the Worm Knight finally arrives upon the shores beyond this land before his homecoming. She turns away from you and then begins her chant again. Shouldst thou seekest shelter, may the elements be merciful to thee. Shouldst thou seekest kinship, then may thy kin hold memory of thee. Shouldst thou seekest darkness, you leave her to her benediction. The Worm Knight's absence is already felt. You know, however, that he will strive with all his might on your behalf there on the other side. I sense my lovely reader has returned. Then how may I assist you? We still can't talk to her! I need this Reader X Sandra ship to come off, please. It is daybreak. You are to set forth now for the spring of Jamur for what appears to be the final time. Thereafter you shall return here for one last exile's final chance at liberty. Sandra is done with us. I friggin' hope not. God, it's been a while since we were down this far in the downside. The spring of Jamur has always flown forth from the crushed carapace of Bealantheus, a legend whose demise is a rather sordid tale. Perhaps you've already read it in the book. Not all believe the book exists, of course, nor the greater titans, nor the rites. I've encountered exiles believing that this titan perished quite by accident, rather than by a cunning trap laid for it by Jamur Manymane. They took the titan for a common beast. Perhaps the stars shine down upon out-of-the-way locales such as this one to ensure that they alone shall witness the proceedings. So we've got Blue Hive, Fall Flat. We'll go for Fall Flat because deeper understanding of the rights for Jodie. We've already got her to max level. And I don't foresee any way that we can improve that, so... Join Volfred for a survey of the surrounding area. Together with Volfred, you venture forth into the stark badlands of Fall Flat. To ensure the path is clear and check for anything of value. A brisk walk does wonders for the soul, wouldn't you say, my girl? You sense Volfred's spirits lightened to some extent. The survey is brief and uneventful, leaving you with time enough to pursue your vocations on your return. Volfred gained +1 hope. Return to the wagon. Mentor Volfred. He's literally the only person we can mentor. Certainly, I would appreciate your point of view. You and Volfred review what observations you have made thus far about the various triumvirates you have confronted on your journey. He has keen insights about some of them. Yes, it was enough. Cool. Long did I bide my time in anticipation that one day the Nightlings will form under a common cause. To be a part of it myself, it nourishes the spirit. Either we stand between each other's paths to freedom or we help each other on our way. I try to always bear this truth in mind. Spring of Jamur. Let's go. Friggin' hate Manly. And I'm sure we're going to find out about Sir Gilman when we're back on the way to the Fall of Solium. I oftentimes think if the carapace of the Hive Titan Beolanthius shall be an everlasting blemish on an almost splendid bit of land, but Jamur in his brashness felled the monster with a certain flair. Then the moonstone shone through the ridges of the massive carapace and shined upon the pooling ichor, turning it into the freshest nectar ever to be tasted. The spring shall flow eternally, and those who walk within it shall experience the resplendent glory of the land. The stars began to fall there in the spring with regularity, and we now know how soon again that they shall do so, and we wish for you to see it for yourself. So much cool stuff. Cool. Let's go to the shop one last time. Oh hey guys, you know, it seems awful quiet now, I gotta say, without that slippery little character what used to hang around with you, I mean. Feels like this a lot, know what I mean? Hope you found that honour thing he's always going on about. We don't got that in stock just now. Shit. 112 for that. We're gonna sell Melith's tail as well. How much would that gain? Oh, I don't know. I forgot to use the 4 presents, so we can use that now though. They're leaving, Dad. Just look at how much we got this time. I think we've actually got max on most of them. But we're gonna spend that to... Oh, that's cool. Okay, so we've still got +5 on that. Cool. Commence the rite. Let's do this! After making all the necessary preparations amid the barren wastes of the Spring of Jamur, you and your companions await the commencement of the rites. It's quieter even than usual at the onset of such events. The lone minstrel appears, bearing some sort of news. I have checked, and it appears though the chastity have not yet arrived, Reader Merlin. There is no sign of Manly or anyone. Their sigil is not set either. If what he says is true, and your adversaries are not present, then you presume the rite cannot commence. However, the stars themselves soon indicate you are mistaken. Excuse me. Proceed to the right.
Reader, the Commonwealth, your home. Today it is aflame. Much like a stack of books. Aflame because of you. Because of your outlandish plan. Not that you care. Not that you shall live to see this place again. Your attempts at revolution shan't succeed. Though by all means, keep trying. As for myself, I shall enjoy presiding over these remaining rites.
The rite is set to commence, but to your adversaries, they have failed to show. There was no need for them to face us here this time. They have no chance to make it to the fall of Solium again. Indeed, as the rites are drawing to the close, some of the triumvirates who have you met, perhaps they are beginning to decide the stars are not worth heeding any longer. Manly, you wonder whether he would give up on the rites like that. He seemed so convinced he would prevail and return in glory to the Commonwealth. Perhaps a contrary reality was too much for him to take. In any case, we have begun the ceremony here, and so I would ask that we end it.
Choose quickly your triumvirate. Bertrude. Jodiel. Wolfred. Fine.
Let us end this and be on our way. Conceding in the rites is frowned upon. Believe me, I should know.
Lo, even your adversaries have abandoned you. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail by default. Not that their adversaries even care.
Ah. I didn't see that coming. 'Twas time we wasted here, although our kind we live for very, very long.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
We didn't learn anything from that as well.
May misfortune find you ere the turning of the stars.
Jesus. No one speaks further of the chastity back at the Black Wagon. Everyone instead is preoccupied with the rite that is to come. Does the final chance at liberty present itself at last then, huh? The stars always shine with the truth. The ending of the cycle of the rites is now upon us. He looks over to you. Please look forth, reader madam, and see this for yourself. You may well surmise where we are going next. The others turn to you as well. You turn toward the wagon's door. You know what you shall see out there. Now, however, the time has come to face it. The dim and fading light of the final star still pierces through the darkness, demanding your attention, guiding you toward the endpoint of your path. You see plain the golden star of Solium. Look upon it for the last. All the other stars are just gone. That's so weird. You are summoned to the fall of Solium for your 7th and final liberation rite. Thus shall the cycle of rites be ended for an age. You sense that if the rites shall commence again, it shall not be during your lifetime or that of any of your companions, even the longest lived ones. These stars reveal to you one thing more. The adversary whom you face shall be Oralek. Already he has crossed the scribe's gate and awaits your arrival. If the 8 scribes created the Nightwings in their own likeness, perhaps it is only fitting that the Nightwings should, in the end, be forced to face themselves. It's a shame that we should have to confront Oralek in the end. Our goal should never have been at cross purposes. I am surprised that this is what the scribes desire. For now, it may be best that you recover until dawn, regaining your strength as best you can for the coming trial. Rest well, reader. The group disperses as exhaustion sets in. At dawn, you fly into Mount Elodial to make a final effort to achieve your plan and get somebody home. But who? Keep checking in on the Beyonder Crystal. My lovely reader comes to me again. To what do I owe the pleasure? Nope. I hope we can when we get to the Fall of Solium. Because I know what the reader, in my case, would do. Probably a bad idea, but she'd...
Foolish reader.
Go into
Your
the...
so-called friends. You are accomplice to their hateful plot. They are exploiting you. You shall never have your freedom.
I am full aware of that, buddy. By dawn you are already up and about. After a troubled slumber, the Black Wagon is prepared for its final voyage to the Fall of Solium. No one speaks. As you lift into the sky, the low minstrel raises his voice, cutting through the somber mood. Reader, a certain old ballad comes to mind just now. I think it may benefit the circumstance. Perhaps it may help to pass the time along our flight. Would you mind it very much if I were to play this song for the Nightwings? By all means. You urge the low minstrel to play his ballad so that all among you might hear it. It begins without another word. I think that's as far south as we can go. Okay, that was cool. Jadariel gains favor from the scribes. Nah, we'll go for Jadariel. Much as I think Fulfred would be the right choice there, Jadariel's my choice. You touch down amid the solemn beauty of Mount Elodiel to make a pilgrimage to the summit for one last time. There, one last liberation rite shall soon commence. There, one last exile shall regain their freedom. All others shall remain to carry out their sentences here in the downside for the remainder of their lives. And in the Commonwealth, the plan of which you are a part shall either come to fruition or shall be suppressed. What brings you to me this time, dear reader? Still can't talk to her! After having landed, you join Jadariel on an expedition to the monument of Jamur Menimane for what is likely to be the final time. One last opportunity presents itself to us, for one among us to be free again. I've considered whether it ought to be me, and I remain indifferent. I have no wish to see the Commonwealth I left behind. I have decided I would rather that my efforts here contribute somehow to the success of this plan of ours. You scribes, I do not address you lightly in all this. I suspect you may be listening after all. If you are, then I appreciate your willingness. Soon she is finished. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Jamur Menimane has shown you favour. At dawn you shall begin your last ascent. For now your vocations may occupy what little time you have to spare. Dario has 2 presents, accept the blessing. We're going to go foraging. Potent serum in the hewn monuments. Oh hell yeah. We got extra hope. So, extra presents for Jodie for this right, and an extra hope for Volfred permanently. Continue your journey. I hope this is where we get interrupted by a messenger imp. Yep. Deep in the splendors of Mount Elodiel, you find a messenger imp looking to bring you the latest in news and rumours from the other side. This time around, the imp brings tidings of Sir Gilman and what happened to him since the liberation at the fall of Solium, when at last his self-imposed exile came to an end. He learned that his return to the Commonwealth was met with much rejoicing, and that before long he was promoted to the rank of Veiled Captain on the Blood Border. And yet, with tears welling in his eye, he did refuse the post, stating that he no longer had the heart to fight against the Highwing remnants as he once did. He then cast down his helmet, and when next anyone saw him, he was among Volfred's agents, having joined the revolution to reshape the Commonwealth from within. He thanked the messenger for the report and saluted crisply, as surely Gilman would have. Soon the news has everyone in the wagon talking. Noble Gilman made the gallant choice, it seems. Our plan comes closer to a fruition through his good example and support. Knight or no, he shall always remain Sir Gilman in my eyes. It must have taken great restraint for him to do what he has done. The tears he shed ought to have been bottled and are set aside for use in various salves. The news of Gilman's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with a newfound resolve. +1 hope for the next rite. Wish him good fortune. To the Scribe's Gate. For the last time. You stand before the Scribe's Gate with your companions. The Gate Guardian is there as ever, but you sense something different in her. The exiles of the Nightwings. We shall not meet again after the coming rite. Tariq and I, it shall be time we take our rest, I think. Greetings, Celeste. I would tell you that the Nightwings are prepared, though this time I am certain anyone amongst us feels thus. We have a duty to uphold, Tariq. And then what, Celeste? And then nothing. Not for the rites, or us. Not till the dawn of a new age. Now, Nightwings, step forward. Please state your names and what it is you seek whilst crossing the Scribe's Gate. One by one, your fellow exiles approach her, now with sureness in their step. I shall go first. I am Captain Jadariel. I am here to honour the commitments I have made to my companions and to the common goal with which we have come to share. We are called Big Bertrude. We seek to fulfil the plan of Sandalwood, for we are fond of him and his beliefs, and then to go about our business. My name is Volfred Sandalwood. I long as yet to see an age where freedom is one's birthright, and no longer a good people such as these forced to contend for it. Finally, you step forward once more. You, a common wanderer who vowed to help her friends be free again, and who managed to come this far with this group. The Gate Guardian observes you for a moment, then motions past the archway to the summit. The aid scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Except for you, Tariq. You stay right there. I thought you said. The rites are not yet ended, Tariq. He looks to her, then over to the rest of you. Pardon me, everyone. I shall be there when the stars align. The Gate Guardian and the Lone Minstrel remain together as the rest of you depart. It's the last one. Bertrude, that was a weird response. Kind of, yeah. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time, the final time in which any of you shall have a chance to leave the downside. The Beyond a Crystal seeks you! Oh shit, okay. Hang on. Hey guys. I guess you probably heard the big news, huh? Yeah, I'm going out of business here, I guess. Just hasn't been the same, you know, what with all the stars fading out and stuff. Anyways, just wanted to say you guys are great, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss having you guys as customers and all of that. But I got some good news though too. All my stuff is on sale now, and I'll throw a little extra there just for you, okay? So enjoy, and maybe I'll be seeing you guys around, or... Right? Oh, they're 5% off. Cute. Well, we might as well buy that. I don't think we need the Ashen Coal, really. So we'll grab that as well. For Joey. Tell all your friends about us, because I already told mine. I'll do that in a minute. Jodie gets an extra presents. Volfred gets another extra hope. This is... I'm already gonna cry. Thank you for visiting on such short notice, Rita. I understand you have important matters to attend to, so let me be blunt. Please, listen for a moment then. I know this whole affair is coming to an end, all of it. I sense the binds that formed the rites becoming weak, which means soon you will not need me anymore. Not that you've needed me at any point, but still, my services will not be of any further use. I would love to tell you that this means I shall be free from my eternal prison. For some of my Beyonders it shall be a release. My accomplices are bound by weaker words than those which have bound me. They shall fade away, I think, and finally rest. I, however, shall remain. She hesitates for a moment. Thus I have a proposition for you. I do not know where you should go from here, but I ask you to take me there, wherever it shall be. By that I mean, take this stone prison of mine and keep it. Do not just leave it, as all your predecessors have. Each time their stay among the Nightwings reached an end. Soon, the Beyond a Crystal shall serve no use at all except to keep me trapped. I am content to remain thus, for I have little choice, but I would prefer to do so in your company. For I do enjoy your company, reader. This may not be much of a compliment, but I assure you that I much prefer your company to an eternity of solitude. I have no wish to see you gain in years, and to eventually decay while I remain unchanging, but I should rather have many more years whilst having contact. Even if those years are to be brief, they shall afford me many more in which I might think back upon our times. Nor do I expect you to accommodate my needs, for I am well aware I have my limits in accommodating yours. That is to say, I wish you to go forth after this night and live your life however you see fit, for your own sake. May all this rights business enrich your coming days somehow, and in considering that life after this night, if you think that there may be a place in it for me, however small, then once again I simply ask that you take me along. That way, should you ever wish to visit me again sometime, you could, and I would like to have that as an option more than not. My request here is a selfish one, for there is little I can offer in exchange other than what little my companionship is worth. Perhaps I could lull you to sleep once in a while. Who knows, you could always try to sell the Beyond a Crystal for a reasonable sum somewhere, or something to that end. There must be someone out there with an interest in this thing. So then, you have heard my sad little proposition, what do you say? Look. Well, of course we're going to take her with us. What the fuck? You grasp the Beyond a Crystal and set it into the folds of your clothing. Sandra senses this and makes a sound as though surprised. Thank you, reader. She is at a loss for a moment. Then, let us go then, from this place. Go and face your last remaining adversaries. May you crush them under heel and achieve the outcome which you seek. I believe you shall prevail. She disappears into the stone for now. You took the Beyond a Crystal with you, keep it with you. Okay, it's been more than an hour, so I'm going to take a break and stop crying for a bit. And I will see you in a few minutes where we're going to do the final rite and finish this game up, and I'm probably going to cry again. So thank you so much for watching so far, I really appreciate it. This has been a blast. I'll be right back. I'm not currently crying. Oh, that was... yeah, that was a lot. I have some tea. We have one final liberation. Commence the final liberation. Let's do this. Congrats on making it, thank you. The stairs were difficult, but I persevered. You have gained the summit of Mount Elodial for the 7th time. Very few stars remain above to light your way as you await the commencement of the final liberation rite. The lone minstrel finds you clutching the Book of Rites, seeking there perhaps some bit of wisdom that has eluded you thus far. Reader, we may not have a chance to speak again after this. I may have to go. I wish to say that I am grateful for having made your acquaintance, and I shall remember you with fondness. I wish you well this night and always. Go forth with glory. Then he looks up and extends his hand in friendship. You clasp it. You see Bertrude has joined you. All of your companions are there with her, in fact. Reading one. Thou art both wiser and less irritating than most others of thy kind. We have learned something from thee, and we are grateful. Reader, let us prevail here tonight. I have taken orders from many different leaders in my day. You should know. You are a rarity among them. It is strange for me to say, given the circumstances of our meeting, reader, but it has truly been a pleasure. Onward now, let us achieve our plan. You look upon your fellow exiles, your companions with whom you have withstood the downside and with whom you shall now conduct this final rite. Begging your pardon, but my time has come. We shall see each other soon. He departs. After this night, the outcome of Volfred's plan, the plan of which you all have been a part, shall be decided, one way or another. For now, all you can do is strive to prevail against your final adversaries, so that one last companion may go free. You rise to join your fellow exiles as the last remaining stars ignite. The final liberation rite of this age shall now commence. Let us stand together. Said I wasn't crying, and then Jodie started talking. Your headcanon is that already the reader lives happily ever after with Sandra and Jodie. That's a good one. I kind of ship Jodie with Ignarius.
Look, for one last time, upon the fall of Solium, dear reader. Hear me, for one last time. For soon, the few remaining stars shall fade away, leaving you stranded there for your remaining days in that forsaken land where you deserve to be. The rabble that you roused here in the Commonwealth shall be put down. The exiles whom you liberated all shall fall in line. But first, let us get on with this last liberation rite. You face none other than yourselves. Each so unlike the glorious Nightwings of yore. 'Tis a shame that one of you shall soon be free, for you deserve each other.
The pyres burn and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. But before the lone minstrel can concur as per the custom. Not another word. The demon Aurelek slowly raises his clawed fingers to his mask. The false Nightwings have arrived at last. Long have I awaited this. My freedom once was stolen from me. Then I was cheated of it here upon this mountaintop. You may now attempt to take it from me once more. He stands there for a moment silent, then Aurelek dons his mask and stands prepared. May these damned rites cease forever for the misery which they caused. Nightwings, we shall not meet again after tonight, for the cycle of rites is all but ended. Thus, I would have your decision, on whose behalf shall you conduct this final liberation rite, the one whom you anoint, or else the exile Aurelek shall be returned. Godspeed, reader, you know what is at stake better than I. I have utmost faith in you to make the best decision and conduct this rite with glory. Nightwings, the star's remaining light grows dim. Your decision, please. It is time now to choose who, if anyone among you, shall go free this one last time. The rest of you shall remain in the downside to the end of your days. One by one you meet the gazes of each of your fellow exiles. Volfred, Jodariel, Bertrude. Your fellow exiles, your companions, your friends. Together you've come this far, but now the downside and the rights conspire to tear your group apart and disrupt your plan. Are you prepared to choose this one last time? The fate of your friends in the Commonwealth may hinge on the decision you're about to make, or the pressure is too great. It seems both cruel and unfair to have to make such a decision as there are no other way. I want to know what that entails, but I'm going to choose yes, for there is no turning back. With but a glance, you reassure your fellow exiles that you know what to do.
One final opportunity for salvation. Too bad for the rest of you.
They have 15% Moon Crest, 4 Quickness on an Imp, and then the rank 40 Talisman Ashen Coal. Fuck me. He has 40 presents as well. This is going to be tough. But we're going to anoint Volfred.
Volfred.
Long have I dreamt that I might someday see this plan of ours come to fruition. I promise you that I shall make the most of it if we are to prevail. Your choice is cast. As for your other companions, you sense a clarity of thought and purpose in each of them. They stand ready to support Volfred as well as you.
Who shall be at his side? Jodariel.
Then let us see to it that Volfred returns ere the turning of the cycle finally ends. I will as ours, reading one. Let the remaining stars shed their last light upon our ceremony here.
With that out of the way,
Those are to be my adversaries, then. And who is it, I wonder, who asserts her will over that group? You sense Oralek searching for you, almost reaching out to you. You, the shadow of the false Nightwings. They are nothing to me, but you who would relinquish your own liberty for the sake of them. Strange. It is fitting, then, that I should have to face one such as you. Then Oralek stands ready, signaling for his 2 allies to do the same. By the light of dawn, the cycle of rites shall cease. Let us see if we can finish this ordeal before that time. The sky above begins to shudder. The final liberation rite is about to commence. Tariq. Aye, I am prepared, Celeste. Then let us on this evening shake the stars themselves. Aye, Celeste, let us make sure of it. It's the last one, let's go.
the final chance at liberation for the age.
You wear the raiments once again. I could not simply stand by and do nothing, Oralek. Yet that is what you did. When last we stood together on this blasted mountain, I fell. You simply stood. Oralek, what shall it take for you to be convinced that I took no part in your betrayal? Oralek seems to consider the question, but only for a moment. Give me my damn freedom. Let me prevail here and now. Would you promise to uphold our plan, to bring about a better Commonwealth? No, I make no promises, I owe you nothing. Then I am sorry, Oralek. My love of country comes before all else. More than your freedom and our friendship is at stake. Your love be damned, Volfred. Let us stand as adversaries then. Oh, the dash is so annoying. How did that not banish him? Goddamn. The sky rays ash, so soon shall your pyre's own mingle with them. Just then the skies above begin to rain down fire, the final throes of the cycle of rites and the ending of an age. What the fuck? Rude ass motherfucker. Oh, how is that close enough? They keep getting my thing. Holy fuck, how far can he jump? We did it, we got Volfred in there. Oh! Huh, so the false Nightwings bear their fangs at last. But that cannot be your finest effort. You think you deserve your freedom more than I, then fight for it, damn you.
How he has changed, that Orlick. Grown old and bitter over these many years.
God, he still gets that throw off just in time.
Oh, you poor Nightwings.
What was that throw?
Thrusts.
Good lord.
Flames.
This is gonna be rough. Oh, I need to not dash forward with him. How did that not banish him?
What happened there?
There we go.
Plunged into
They've literally got 1 health left. Orlick stands breathing heavily. He looks back on the thin lick of flame that is his smouldering pyre before turning his attention back to your triumvirate. Oh, come on, he was right there.
pathetic. That one almost got through. Now to the flame.
Hell yeah. Teleported in.
The Nightwings proved
Oh, the voice is so pissy.
an outcome which left little room for doubt. Thus ends the liberation rite.
Warped straight into the portal, yeah.
The scribes have chosen.
Praise the scribes. We've done it. You look upon Volfred for what you shall expect to be the last time you see each other. Any moment now the Shimmer Pool shall engulf him. Any moment now he shall return to glory and join his agents in the Commonwealth to help achieve the plan. Any moment now the cycle of rights shall end, until at least the dawn of a new age. Any moment now.
And thus the scribes have chosen. And thus the scribes have chosen. And thus the scribes have chosen.
There is no waterfall.
No. Nightwings. Reader,
I ain't done shit, motherfucker.
what have you done?
Hold. There's something wrong. Each prior time upon the fall of Solium, the Shimmer Pool has opened following the liberation rite and taken in whichever exile prevailed. But now all is still, and the light of the stars above has all but died. You sense a growing fear that it is already too late, that the Shimmer Pool shall not reveal itself again. Orlick approaches, his head bowed. The 8 scribes saved their greatest treachery for last. Then something else catches his notice. Wait. The sudden rush of starlight cascades through the stillness of the summit. The Shimmer Pool has appeared again, different somehow, but open. Volfred looks upon it but does not engulf him, or at least not yet. It seems I was mistaken then. The 8 scribes, this is not their greatest treachery as this is their greatest jest. The Shimmer Pool is flung wide open. It seems that all are worthy now of freedom. Orlick strides towards the Shimmer Pool, but... Halt, Orlick. Orlick glances over at the lone minstrel, almost in surprise. The Shimmer Pool has lost most of its strength. You step inside and you shall surely drown, of that I can assure you. He laughs to himself at this. Then we have all been cheated. No, the Shimmer Pool is revealed, and one of you may still return as planned. But as for who returns, someone else shall have to choose. Ere the last light of the stars is extinguished and the rites cease to be, this is the final trial of the scribes. The final trial of the scribes. Then, our confrontation, the liberation rite, it was all meaningless. No, the victor of the confrontation is to be the one to make the choice among the closest to the scribes, either the anointed or she who anointed them. So then, the choice is mine to make. My freedom weighed against the reader's, is that it? Aye, it shall be either you, the reader, or it shall be either or. Volfred, please make your decision quickly, lest it shall be forfeit. I do not know for how much longer the light of the stars shall offer you this gift. It's a snap decision then. Fine, I have made it. He's gonna send me. I fucking know he's gonna send me. Reader, my girl, this chance of freedom that we've earned, it's yours. Take it now and make good use of it, for you and all of us. Volfred wishes to give up his freedom so that you may regain yours. Very well. Reader, madam, the choice which Volfred made, or rather the choice which he gave, it is now yours to make instead. This choice, it may keep bouncing back and forth like this, absurd. It may, until such time as one of you is willing to accept the burden and the outcome of the choice. That is the trial, and I fear there is little time remaining now. Reader, if you and your companion are too cordial with each other to accept that freedom, either one of you, then I shall gladly take it. Freedom won't be more than some flirtatious trifle to exchange. Reader, what is your will? This is your chance, and Volfred wished that you should take it. Your intention this night was for him to return to glory, and it shall be done. He earned his rightful freedom long ago. He deserves his justice. All of these are the choice I want to make. I still kind of want to send Volfred, but I don't know if he'll just throw it back on me and be like, lol, no you. Hold hands and go together. It can only send one of us. Choosing Volfred. You are decided. You've chosen Volfred. He looks at you with some astonishment. Volfred said, do you accept the reader's choice, or shall you make another? Yes, I accept the reader's choice in this. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, my girl, and I'm afraid I don't know what else to say. Then it is done. You sense a look of genuine surprise flash across Volfred's face, and then he's gone. You gave your chance of freedom so that Volfred may yet have his. May he return in glory.
Godspeed, Volfred Sandalwood. By the scribes, no stars remain aloft. The cycle of the rites. It is finished. The Commonwealth. What shall become of it? What shall become of us? Nightwings. The opportunity to gain your freedom from the downside. Was it not enough?
That night, the exile Volfred returned to the Commonwealth. He was to be the last. The stars had faded and the cycle of rites had run its course. He found the Commonwealth in great upheaval. Spurred by the efforts of 6 liberated exiles, Volfred Sandalwood's revolutionary plan had incited the masses. These exiles and the starless sky portended the return of the scribes. The people surged into the streets shoulder to shoulder. Led by the 6 exiles, their voices shook the heavens. The leadership of the Commonwealth panicked. No blood was shed that night, and by dawn it was over. The leaders of the Commonwealth had cast themselves back into exile or joined in this new cause. Thus, in its 838th year, the Commonwealth had fallen. The new Saurian Union declared its sovereignty in the next year. Among the changes that elected leaders ushered in, they vowed never to cast their people into exile, and they abolished the old Commonwealth decree forbidding literacy. Today we still remember all of this. And we remember the exiles of the downside whose deeds led to the dawning of our age, whether they returned or not. Achievement unlocked, true freedom. Oh, we get to we get to check in with everyone. Choose someone to learn what became of them since you last met. Okay. Where do we even start here? I guess we'll start with the people on this side. As the cycle of the rights drew to a close, it grew evident that a chance of freedom from the downside had forever slipped from Dalbert and Alma's old heart's grasp. Thus they and the exiles of the Fate returned to Jumur Valley. There they struggled to get by, as exiles of the downside tend to do. Sometime after the rights had ended, the old hearts last heard the news that the Commonwealth had fallen. This was well after the fact, of course, but it brought old Dalbert great joy. Despite his forthright manner, he had no love for the nation that cast him down along with his son. Dalbert, old heart, passed peacefully in his sleep before the next new moon. In his final days, he implored his son to undertake a pilgrimage to the scribes. Alma never shared his father's view of the scribes, but respected Dalbert's wishes, and so, after a period of mourning, Alma began a new journey. Not a day went by that Alma Oldheart did not think about his father and give thanks to him and speak to him at morning and at night. Would that the stars yet shone, for surely Dalbert's would be there among them, smiling down at his son and watching over him and his kin. Oh, we're gonna go through everyone. I'm gonna cry so much at this bit. After the final liberation rite, Landor refused to believe that the rites had truly ended. He would sit through night after consecutive night, staring into the blackness of the sky, awaiting any kind of sign that he might gain another chance of freedom. No such sign ever came. His fellow accusers started to express concern for him. Survival had become their top priority once the liberation had slipped from their grasp. But Lendl dismissed them as weak fools. He insisted rather forcefully that any evening now the stars would shine for him again, and mark the way toward his inevitable freedom. He was, of course, mistaken. The others in his triumvirate were left with little choice but to abandon him. After that, the exile known as Lendl the Liar was never seen again. However, there has since been sightings of a bedraggled demon who wanders the downside and bears Lendl's cruel countenance, suggesting he yet lives. After the cycle of the rites had ceased, Witchard Milda returned to the Flagging Hands region, where she sealed herself within the Pit of Melith. There, even her fellow exiles of the Withdrawn allegedly grew unnerved after a time and left her to her vile work. Sometime later, the Pit of Melith erupted into flames. So intense was the conflagration that it could be seen all the way from Jumur Valley. Arson was suspected, though the cause was never verified, and many bog dwellers in the region were forced to flee. A tempest blowing from the north finally quenched the flames. When at last the acid settled, the grounds had cooled, the site of the fire was scarred and beyond recognition. No trace of the Witchard Milda could be found. As for the contents of the Pit of Melith, which notably included a profane object thought to be the remains of Lich Islach, all of it was gone as well. Back in the Sarian Union, with Milda's repeated threats of return of Islach were thoroughly investigated, and no credence was found to any of her claims. All his life, Sir Deluge had fled from one danger only to find himself facing another. He had escaped the worn-torn waters of the Sea Dominion, he had escaped the blood border of the Commonwealth, and now he had escaped the rites. After the rites had ended, many exiles wrapped up in the Ancientess were crestfallen as their last chances to return to their homes vanished along with the stars above. But Deluge did not mind, for this outcome meant that at last there was no burden of responsibility weighing down on him. While most of his fellow exiles of the Pyre hearts yet longed for the waters of the Sea Dominion, driven as ever by their impulses towards conflict, Deluge settled down. With him remained one of his companions, one Lady Seagrass, who had taken a liking to him for some reason. Aww. Reportedly they disappeared into the waters of the Worm Gulf, which may begin to explain the significant increase in worm population observed in the vicinity. Incredible. Okay. Barker Ashpaws had never had much interest in returning to the Commonwealth, for he always found its bylaws to be stifling, so when the rites ended, he did not care at first. He soon grew very bored. The rites had given his life a certain sense of structure he had always needed. He missed the raw anticipation of it all. He decided to continue conducting the rites for the thrill of it. He bent some of the rules and replaced some of the objects, but it was close enough. His packmates the dissidents proved more than happy to participate, and thus they ran against each other back in the Jumur Valley. Gradually, other exiles familiar with the rites, as well as those who had not heard of it at all, started to take an interest. They ended up giving Barker Ashpaws some healthy competition. His old feud with Rookie Greentail ceased meaning anything to him, and he forgot all about it amid his new pursuits. Ultimately, even Barker Ashpaws, who had led such directionless existence to that point, found something of a calling through the rites. Whether he took the rites less seriously than any other exile of his time, or more, was oft debated by those who watched him work. Oh, I love that ending for him. A rec league, yeah, grassroots rights. I'm gonna go for Manly next, because I don't like him. When Manly Tinderstorff realised the rites had ended and that he could no longer return to the Commonwealth through this ancient means, he was outraged. He cursed the scribes, spewing forth such a slew of blasphemy as to be very unbecoming of one of his high status and bearing. When at last he calmed himself, he focused all his energies on attempting to find another means of homecoming. He maintained regular contact with his wealthy family on the other side via messenger imp and used their vast resources to explore other means of escape. He tried using an elaborate pulley system. He attempted to retrofit a flying black wagon with superior propulsion. He tried an imp draft, a hot air balloon, even prayer. Nothing worked. There was only one way to escape the downside, and now it was gone. Tinderstorff bankrupted his family in his vain attempts. Alas, such was his shame that he returned to the teeming woods of Black Basin, to Cinderroot. There he wallows, complaining to his comrades of the chastity who still put up with him, either about his own misfortune or the latest news from the other side. Asshole. Throughout her exile, Tamitha Thane was motivated by a single goal, to return to the Commonwealth and exact vengeance on her ancient enemies. When she realised the rites had ended and that she would never see her mountain home again, she nonetheless remained determined to aid her people however possible. She had gathered certain information pertaining to the intentions of the Nightwings, who had formed a pact to regroup on the other side after their liberation. Other such reports exposed certain weaknesses in the Commonwealth defences and revealed to the Highwing remnants the opportunity for a risky but potentially impactful strike. As Tamitha could not participate in the assault, she learned what happened well after the outcome. On that night, known as the Scribe's Return, the Commonwealth had fallen. The Highwing remnants thus prevailed at last without even having to fight. Soon after the fall of the Commonwealth, Tamitha learned her blood sister Pamitha was an accessory to successful outcome. Tamitha was very sceptical of this, but as similar reports kept mounting, she soon accepted the prevailing opinion, however grudgingly. Once a messenger arrived bearing some sort of message, seemingly from Pamitha. However, Tamitha turned it away. She would not give in to an impulse to forgive. Knowing that the conflict on the other side had ended, Tamitha retreated to the crags of Black Basin and grew ever more distant. Those closest to her surmised that her inability to reconcile with her blood sister was at the heart of this, so for her part, Tamitha never once admitted to any such weakness. After the Shimmer Pool closed for what would be the last time, Orlek looked around him in the flickering light of the Nightwing's still burning pyre. He then turned to the fall of Solium and looked toward the black, starless sky. He cursed the 8 scribes then, one after the other. After that he strode towards the waters coursing from the side of Mount Elodiel, and without hesitating he cast himself down. Orlek's body was never recovered. The drop from Mount Elodiel does not appear survivable, though Orlek did survive it once. That time, however, he was filled with fury. Such was the betrayal he had suffered when his fellow exile claimed his rightful freedom. This time Orlek was filled with nothingness, and chose to leave the downside in the one way he still knew he could. The other Nightwings who were witness to this never forgot what they saw. Oh. Ignarius. Once it became clear to Ignarius that the rites were drawing to close, he knew that it was time for him and the Tempest to call it quits. But first he and the Tempest decided to celebrate, and that they did for many, many nights. The revelry did eventually subside, the exiles parted amicably and went their separate ways. He roamed the downside then, searching for some meaning in his life, sometimes taking odd jobs requiring his brute strength. One day he ran into Jadariel, and without the pressure of the rites, they hit it off that time. She denied ever enjoying his company, yet they never left each other's side. Though his glory days and the most powerful conductor of the rites had long since passed, he always enjoyed the fearsome reputation he had cultivated at that time. Yes! Oh, I'm glad he and Jodie hit it off. We'll do these next. With the rights drawn to a close, the Slug Market's revenue fell precipitously and Falcon Ron was forced to liquidate his assets and close up shop. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those of an entrepreneurial learning, this time of hardship led to an epiphany, or at least a sudden change of fortune. One day, Falcon Ron had a run-in with a messenger imp bearing news from the other side. Ron gave to it one of his remaining trinkets which could not be sold. The following week, the messenger imp returned to him bearing a tidy sum of wealth in newly minted coinage from the Sarian Union. Falcon Ron cut a long-term deal with the messenger imp then and there. Though his trade remained a grey area from a legal standpoint in the Sarian Union, the newfound fame of the downside caused Falcon Ron's good to explode in popularity. He later signed an elaborate agreement with Big Bertrude's and found a distribution partner on the other side through Rookie Greentail, whose own business had expanded. Especially in the Sarian Union, Falcon Ron's good are still known for their superior quality, although he assumes no liability for any side effects. I like that. We'll do these two next. After the cycle of the rites ceased turning, the lone minstrel bade the remaining Nightwings take the Black Wagon and seek their fortunes elsewhere in the downside. Their parting was heartfelt but brief. He remained there at the summit of Mount Elodiel with Celeste, where the two of them would chronicle the final outcome of that cycle. Neither Tariq or Celeste were ever seen again. We all know this now. We know all this now through song attributed to them. Some claim these songs originated in the taverns of the Saurian Union and were merely imbued with the weight of folklore. However, exiles liberated from the downside corroborated each other's claims at having met this duo that presided over the liberation rites. Another folktale suggests that these minstrels were heralds of the scribes. Having fulfilled their obligations, they departed the world we knew and rejoined their patrons. One of their famous songs describes another simpler outcome, that the two gave up their duties to the rites in favour of a life that they could share together. In any case, they're likely to remain the subject of such verses and such songs, for it was they who watched over the rites and ushered in our times. I love that for them. Okay. We're gonna go in order that we liberated them. After his liberation, Hedwyn was instrumental in the events leading to the fall of the Commonwealth and was vital to the outcome of the plan. The peaceful outcome of the scribe's return was attributed to several key factors. One of them was the underlying ambition of the plan itself. Another was Hedwyn's visibility among the people in the streets. Identified to be a liberated exile, he was believed to be Golgul Athanian reborn. More importantly, however, he was one of the winged harps of the High Wing remnants accompanying him. She was later identified as Fikani Shang, a harp for whom Hedwyn cared deeply. Oh, he found his love. Oh, she's so pretty. Their bond was symbolic of what was at stake that night and proved vital to the peace that followed. In times of difficulty, he would often ask himself what his old friend Chitariel would have done in his place. Though they were separated by great distance now, they thought of one another often and maintained their friendship through a relatively frequent correspondence via messenger imp. Hedwyn would often think back about the vow he made at the beginning of his quest for freedom. Although he cherished all the friendships he made, he had pledged to Dariel, Rookie Greentail and the Reader of the Nightwings that they might all be free again together. He had broken that vow, for in the end not all of them were able to return. A terrible guilt over this darkened his mood for a time. However, the others whom he still knew lifted his spirits, much like he had often lifted theirs. All of the Nightwings knew the stakes. While the others who stood with the Nightwings were not able to remain in contact thus, Hedwyn thought of each of them often, and so in turn did they often think of him. I wonder what would happen if we had have liberated Jodie and then myself at the end. If we had that trio of me, or the quad of me, Jodie, Hedwyn and Rookie all free together. After Rookie Greentail earned back his freedom, he returned to a lavish welcome ceremony in the Commonwealth, as was the tendency for liberated exiles. It was everything he could have hoped for, and soon he was well off, surrounded by luxury and choosing between various exciting opportunities. Hello? Am I back? I'm back, okay. Cool. So, basically Rookie got back to a lavish welcome party and then was like, had loads of business opportunities, but he decided to work with, Sandalwood's agents instead. On the night of the scribe's return, Greentail was there with many others, inspiring the masses. He never looked prouder, the very image of Jamur Manymane himself. When dawn finally came and it became clear that the Commonwealth that everybody knew would be no more, he realised many new opportunities awaited. He began a quite lucrative career for himself, manufacturing and selling replica merchandise inspired by the downside. His main struggle was to meet demand. An aspect of his conscience cautioned him against making light of such a thing, but the money was too good and soon his family was as well off as he always said. One of his orders of business was to seek out one of his old companions, Pamitha Vane, to whom he took a liking during their quest for freedom. They bonded further over love of drink and supported one another through uncertain times that laid in store. He also kept in close touch with Gilman, ever the perfect practice partner. They would train together often, taking care to stay in tip-top shape as much as possible throughout the years. Greentail always did his best to keep in touch with all his many friends and knew that he owed his fortunes to them. He made a special point of staying close with the group of friends he came to know so well during his time with the Nightwings, wherever they were. They shared a special understanding that put even Greentail at a loss for words sometimes. He and Pamitha got together, that's cute. Tizo was next to go, I think, right? Was it Tizo then Pamitha, or Pamitha then Tizo? I think it was Pamitha then Tizo, actually.
Consulta videos.
After regaining her freedom, Pamitha Thane found herself in a difficult position. Having once betrayed her people of the Highwing Remnants, she knew that she would not be welcome in her native home. She did not trust the Commonwealth either. Instead, she found her place among Volfred Sandalwood's agents, who were busy doing their part to fulfill the plan. As it turns out, the plan was a success, and Pamitha Thane stood shoulder to shoulder with her other former fellow exiles, and they were a sight to behold. A disturbing rumour later spread that night. The Highwing Remnants were slated to mount an assault, which for some reason never came to pass. Pamitha denied any knowledge or involvement. Afterward, Pamitha played an active part in negotiating terms between the Highwing Remnants and the new nation that would become our Sarian Union. Her previous attempt at something of the sort led to her exile. She must have felt some satisfaction to succeed this time around. Sometime later, Pamitha had an unexpected run-in with Rookie Greentail, whom she had spent a fair amount of time while travelling with the Nightwings. Under these new circumstances, it turns out the two had more to talk about, and rather more in common. They would often put to the test which one was able to outdrink the other. It's unclear as to which one of them prevailed in that contest in the end. One day, Pamitha received an invitation to return to the Highwing Remnants, where she was to be fully pardoned. She held out hope that she might see her blood sister Tamitha there, knowing full well that Tamitha did not regain her freedom. Tamitha did later learn that Pamitha was welcomed back by their people. However, she never responded to her blood sister's attempts to contact her. Pamitha in turn did not expect forgiveness from her at any point. Nonetheless, she kept on trying to reach out, she said, to ruffle up her feathers just a bit. Later, when asked, Pamitha Thane admitted she felt that she had no home to call her own. This was during an interview conducted amid an extensive trip abroad, that she had travelled thousands of leagues beyond the bounds of the Sarian Union. Pamitha continued to journey thus, citing that it reminded her of when she was younger and could fly unvetted. Tizo. I'm not ready for Tizo. This is probably going to make me cry, isn't it? Well, let me just drink some more tea real quick. The imp called Tizo was the first of his kind to achieve liberty through the rites. While he was not the only imp trained in the ways of the scribes, imps are native to the downside and thus care not for travelling abroad. This made them useful to triumvirs. Yet Tizo had a different calling, and the Nightwings believed that he too could play a key role in Volfred Sandalwood's plan. During the night of the scribe's return, he stood out to the populace as something of a miracle. They had only heard of downside imps before from the legends of Hove the Swallow. Afterwards, he became something of an icon, representing both the fall of the Commonwealth and the beginning of a new era. He's a mascot! He would visit his friend Faye at every opportunity. She was among the few who could consistently interpret what he meant, and they were always close since they first met. Sandalwood sometimes called for his assistance, and Tizo was always happy to oblige. The two would often reminisce about their times with the lone minstrel. Tizo often minced his interactions with the reader of the Nightwings. They'd quickly built quite a rapport back in the downside, and Tizo would often express wistful gratitude for all his time conducting the rites alongside the Nightwings, who made such sacrifices for him. Other than that, Tizo was diligent about his role as something of a living artifact, and helped interpret for the messenger imps that relayed news to and from the downside. Despite having gained significant celebrity, he never let it go to his head, although he did take full advantage of his access to the Sarian Union's fishing industry. I love Tizo so much, that's so sweet. Okay, Faye next. The Commonwealth had never provided a sense of home for the one they called Faye the Fair, so she was surprised on her return that she was so well treated. She felt uneasy about it, and besides, she knew that she would do her best to fulfill the pledge she had made to her friends. Even she could not have expected the impact she would have had on the events that followed, which gave rise to our Sarian Union. Despite not fitting the image of any of the 8 scribes, Faye nonetheless stood out alongside the others amid the teeming masses on the night of the scribe's return. Yeah, because Faye is the, I guess, embodiment of the, I can't remember the name, but the one island where the imps are. The person who initially travelled to kill Solium. She spoke of the scribes with such conviction and sincerity that the crowd was very moved. After the fall of the Commonwealth, there was a renewed interest in the legend of the 8 scribes and many new interpretations of their histories and teachings. Faye found herself at the centre of all this. Her way of speaking continued to compel a growing audience. She swayed many people from their astralist beliefs. Soon the 8th World, which had lost favour with people during the reign of the Commonwealth, sought her out and asked her to formally join, and she did, right away. 8th Word. Among her friends, she always remained very close with Tizo, who, more so than anyone, could always make her laugh. Though they could not see each other any longer, Faye often thought about Jadariel and spoke to her as though she were there. Faye tried never to make a decision without first consulting her idea of what Miss Jadariel might say. Faye always was devoted to her faith, but more so to her friends. Many people in the Sarian Union cited that her gentle manner and unwavering conviction helped them brave the changing times with courage and with grace. Fuck. Whenever the worm Gilman returned to the Commonwealth, he believed that he had regained something even more important than his freedom, his honour. Gilman relinquished his knighthood and declined an opportunity to serve as captain on the Blood Border. He was not interested in fighting any longer. Yet, as is sometimes the case with those such as he, a circumstance soon came about in which there came a need for him to once again make use of his military training. Thankfully, however, the scribe's return ended peaceably. Gilman was on edge throughout that night, expecting violence to erupt at any moment. But that moment never came. When the matter was at last put to rest, Gilman truly knew his time as a knight had ended. He declared to all those in earshot that he would never fight again. Unless, of course, there were some other extraordinary set of circumstance again requiring him to fight, but he certainly hoped not. He still retrained regularly, just in case, especially with his fleet-footed friend Rookie Greentail. He was always grateful for having studied under the Reader of the Nightwings, without whom he would never have completed his penance. Because of this, and perhaps because they were on opposite sides of the world now, Gilman dedicated his life to her. By that point, he had long forgotten about his days under the leadership of Sir Deluge, his former commander. Breaking free of his abusive leadership was his first step towards gaining a bit of self-respect. Gilman never did return to his homeland at the Sea Dominion and was content to lead a monastic life on a small residence in the hills. It was just high up enough to make him keep striving to conquer his fear of heights. Other than that, an intense daily training regimen and an occasional visit from an old companion was more than enough to keep him optimistic and engaged. He knew by then that the honour was not something to be won, but a contract with oneself to be renewed each day. Oh, that's a really sweet one. When Volfred Sandalwood regained his freedom, he knew that his work had only just begun. The nation that had exiled him to life in the downside now prepared to honour him, but he was not interested in such ceremony, nor in freedom on the Commonwealth's own terms. He soon rejoined his agents, with whom he had been coordinating for years, slowly, carefully preparing for a night that soon would come. For Sandalwood and his loyalists and sympathisers, true freedom was at stake, not just theirs, but that of everyone living under the Commonwealth. He hoped to gather liberated exiles representing each of the 8 largest ethnic groups composing the population of the Commonwealth. They would stand together as a vision of the 8 scribes returned, inspiring the masses to embrace an older set of values from before the Commonwealth had tightened its grip. With the rites having ended sooner than expected, this optimal scenario became impossible, but Sandalwood did not relent, and prepared to execute his plan, imperfect though it was. On the night of Scribe's return, he stood as one of 6 former exiles of the Nightwings, and their voices echoed together through the streets. These former exiles, who all had disappeared into the ranks of the Commonwealth's own leadership, now stood united with its people, who poured from their homes in solidarity. It was imperative to Sandalwood that this stand against the Commonwealth be peaceful in its nature. An overwhelming show of popular support would be more than enough. Ensuring this was his priority that night, and, in the end, the result was self-evident. The plan's goal had been achieved. Sandalwood's work was far from over still. He laboured ceaselessly with representatives from across the population to restore a sense of stability. This transitional period had its troubles, though none that were not quickly solved. Such was the will and spirit of the people. They understood their freedom carried new responsibility. After the Sarian Union was born the next year, Sandalwood was elected as the nation's first Prime Minister. It was not his intent to run for the office, but the people chose him anyway. He led our fledgling nation through its nascent years. One of his allies in all this was the imp Tizo, with whom he travelled all across the downside. Sandalwood often cited Tizo as the wellspring of his own enthusiasm for a brighter future, such was the creature's spirit. As Volfred Sandalwood gained more fame throughout this land for all his sacrifices and his contributions, he remained ever steadfast about 2 things. The first was that the cause itself ought to remain in focus. The freedom that people had achieved, it was a gift to be cherished, a set of values that needed to be nurtured. The second point he made was that he himself had little to do with that outcome. He would often praise the exiles of the Nightwings who had stood with him, each in turn by name. He never forgot any of them. One day, on his birthday, the people of the Sarian Union presented to him a monument depicting him and the Nightwings as imagined in their prime. It has since ensured that those of us with memories more fallible than that of Sandalwood likewise remember the achievement of his fellow former exiles in our cause. Okay, more tea. Jodie's is gonna make me fucking bawl, I can tell, and Sandra's as well. So I'm saving those 2 for last. There's no way to see what became of the voice either.
Consider
Several exiles of the Nightwings cared more for the plan of Sandalwood than to return home from the downside. The crone called Big Bertrude was a prime example. She had found a suitable environment to live within the dismal region known as Flagging Hands. There she had built up a thriving place of business known to many exiles in the land. With the riots having ended, she returned to her preoccupations, working away almost as though nothing had happened. When one gets to be more than 400 years of age, perhaps even monumental events such as the culmination of the riots or the collapse of the Commonwealth are seen as trifling matters. Much of her effort was doubtless due to the influence of Sandalwood, someone whom she had admired now for decades. Though they were very far apart now, she sought out news as to his whereabouts and found his actions in the Sarian Union a rare source of inspiration. By and large, Bertrude kept focus on her work, whether casting small enchantments or imbuing talismans. This work brought her a sense of purpose, she would say. In the Commonwealth, such services were strictly forbidden, but in the downside there was a real need for simple luxuries, which the competing slug market could not always provide. Thus did Big Bertrude continue to live up to her name, and the tale of her days with the Nightwings made her that much more the living legend. Oh. Jodie. Jodie. After the riots had ceased, Jadariel journeyed back to Downside Prairie, where she helped restore Hollowroot to livable conditions. She became well known and sometimes feared throughout the land, and many exiles often sought her out for aid with various matters. She refused most such jobs except the ones she believed to be just. For all this, she often thought of Hedwyn. Though they remained separated by an impossible expanse, they managed to maintain some correspondence via Messenger Imp and always remained friends. She often felt concerned for how Faye fared now that they were separated and could no longer see each other like before. One day news reached her that Faye had assumed a high position in the Eighth Word. They were calling her a saint. Jadariel had not wept in more than 30 years before then. Sometime later she ran into Ignarius wandering alone. The two of them grew close and soon took residence together. Who among them was a common subject of debate. She continued training on her own, a regimen that grew stricter with each passing year. There were those who sought to train with her, and sometimes she obliged. There remained one other constant in her life. She would always remember her days among the Nightwings, and with fondness for the most part. I'm not ready for this one. After the cycle of rites ceased turning, records of what happened to the Black Wagon of the Nightwings became inconclusive and contradictory. Some accounts suggest that the exiles of the Nightwings who remained in the downside continued to make use of the Black Wagon as their place of shelter and their means of travel. However, there is no record of what happened to the wagon's contents, such as the Book of Rites or the Beyond a Crystal, said to be haunted by the apparition Sandra the Unseen. One possibility is that when the lone minstrel took his leave, he took the Beyond a Crystal with him, for he was thus obliged. By this line of reasoning, however, the Black Wagon itself should have been taken also. Others remain sceptical that the Beyond a Crystal ever existed, or rather that the visions that it granted were anything other than the result of an active imagination or fever dream. The bog dwellers of the southern bogs offer still another explanation, for they are familiar with binding enchantments. If there existed such an object, in which the Sisters of the Arch had been expelled for more than 800 years, then the enchantment could have expired along with the light of the stars. What this would have meant for Sandra and the Beyonders is difficult to say for certain, other than it may have meant that they were finally released. Nevertheless, the fates of Sandra and the Beyond a Crystal remain unknown. Yet those exiles of the Nightwings who claimed to have seen this apparition all spoke of her with degrees of reverence, or perhaps a little fear. Oh no. Can you believe this, reader? Honestly? Sandra has appeared before you, as well you can see. They are so far from the mark with all this nonsense, I am wont to laugh. In fact, here goes. She laughs. She's referring to the account of her. You sense she does not care for it. Well, let them gossip all they like. I merely wish that they would mention you at least in passing when they are at it, though they shall never know even the half of it, shall they? Sandra seems irritated by the incomplete account of what happened to her. Sometimes Sandra just needs a little time to vent. She values that you listen. Perhaps making light of the situation will make Sandra feel better. Oh, I don't know what to choose here. What's the right answer? You let Sandra have her moment. Soon the flash of anger passes and she's back to her usual self. It is no matter, I suppose, though they ought to have mentioned you at least, and there is nothing you can say that shall convince me otherwise. Anyway, let us keep going, lovely reader. We know the truth of it, and that is what matters. She fades into the Beyond a Crystal, and for now, and you tuck it away safe. There is one more account which warrants mention. The The Nightwings conducted the rites under the guidance of a reader, little is known of her. However, some accounts of her begin to paint a picture. We know she was of common birth, always directionless and prone to misremembering at times. The journey to the downside left her close to death. It was then that the Nightlings found her. They brought her from the brink. She showed them the path. She pressed onward with the others. She made a vow to help her friends be free. Thus did the cycle of the rites commence its final turns. When the final rite arrived, the reader's freedom was at stake. In the end, however, she remained in exile. From that point on, accounts of her diverge. It is said the voice which troubled her she never heard again. Some say she helped improve the lives of other downside exiles, though whether that's true only she knows. Someday perhaps that reader's own star shall emerge, then it shall pierce the dark of the night in all its brilliant glory. Until such time and ever after, all of us give thanks.
Their journey began on a barren waste where the reader arrived, afraid and alone. When she arrived, the book of rites awakened the Nightwings and ignited the flame. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in our brain till the end. We sing of the last of the Nightwings who, having broken the cycle, shall live on in song. Headwind prevailed and strode the path that his heart laid before him. He has found his way home.
Captain Joe Dariel, keeping watch over all of the Nightwings. She remained to the end.
This song. What?
Rookie Greentail has proved his worth and returned to his family by the grace of the scribes. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end. The moon-touched girl hears the scribes in the world all around her. They have guided her home. Tizo prevailed, first of his lowly kind, to ascend from the downside. He has found a new home. Sir Gilman the Bold, ever in his quest, finding honor and glory, he has found his way home. Hameth the Thane, having pleased the scribe, seeking only forgiveness, she has found her way home.
We're fine here. We're fine. You said it's so strange that it's raining in your computer room. I know, right? How is it raining in my bedroom?
Strands in a braid till the end. Bound together, spirits tether, strands unbroken, scribes awoken. Wilfred prevailed as the Nightwing's guide,
having led them to glory, he has found his way home.
The bog dweller Gertrude kept their foes at bay with her finest enchantments. She remained till the end. The reader at last made the night wings whole, having bound them together. She remained till the end. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end. They follow the stars, bound together, strands in a braid till the end. Now at the end, as we bid farewell and return to the stars, we shall find our way home. We shall find our way home. We shall find our way
Where's the voice gonna berate us again? This is cool. That's all the symbols of the triumvirs. The end. That's it. That's Pyre. We're done. Ooh. True Nightwing campaign mode unlocked. Press escape to return to main menu. Oh, it will start. That's where we're gonna finish up today. Thank you everyone for watching, I really appreciate it. This is the first time I've finished Pyre. Fucking hell. All of Supergiant's games destroy me in one way or another. Bastion made me cry, Transistor made me cry, Pyre's made me cry. Fairly sure Hades has made me cry as well. Although not necessarily on stream. So yeah. Thank you for watching. This has been an incredible journey. I've really enjoyed doing this Supergiant summer. It turned out to be 10 days perfectly. I'm glad I did this today as well. I was considering waiting to do this tomorrow, but I'm glad I did it today. I wanted to know the rest of the story. Also, the song at the end, I'm assuming changes depending on who you liberate or who gets liberated, who doesn't. I'm assuming the story outcomes at the end change depending on who gets liberated, who doesn't. I kind of want to know what happens if you liberate all 4 of the original 4, so you, Jodie, Hedwyn, and Rookie. I want to know what happens if you take the Beyond a Crystal with you and liberate yourself. I'm assuming we got the good ending, in that there was a peaceful takeover, and there's now a hopefully more just, more fair society in place due to our actions. So I'm assuming it's a multi-ending type thing. Yeah, seems that way. So yeah, that's it for Supergiant Summer. I don't know what I'll play tomorrow. I'll figure out what I fancy playing. Soon-ish, we're going to jump into Mass Effect 2. Is the plan. But we're going to give that a little bit of a rest. That'll be next week at the earliest, I think. But yeah, we'll figure something out. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. This has been so much fun. I'm gonna finish up now. Let's go find you someone to raid. Let's just go back to the menu and stuff. Campaign mode. Okay, so we can do the last bit again.